Okay. Woohoo! Today we're going to be a little bit short, and the reason for that is we have a kind of like a response to something that I saw on one of the boxing message boards. Okay, so we're going to do like maybe 7 minutes of this, and then we're going to go to 7 minutes of something else. So it should be pretty quick. We last left it at Genesis 26 and 33, and then right after this we're going to start talking about Jacob taking Esau's blessing. And when Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hittite. They were a source of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his oldest son, and said, "My son." "Here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now old, and I don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now my son, listen to me carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies." Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him, and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." His mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and he prepared some tasty food just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau her oldest son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with goatskins. So this guy was really hairy. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac asked his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God gave me success," he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." So right away we see that Isaac, even though he was old and his sight was going, his hearing was okay. And so he had his doubts as to who this was. Now Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he proceeded to bless him. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Then he said, "My son, bring some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing." Jacob brought it to him, and he ate. And he brought some wine and drank. Then his father Esau said to him, "Come here, my son, and kiss me." So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew and earth's riches, the abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." After Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence, his brother Esau came in from hunting. He too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, "My father, please sit up and eat some grain, eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" "I am your son," he said, "your firstborn Esau." Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who is it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came and blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me, me too, my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing." Esau said, "Isn't he rightly named Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you reserved any blessing for me?" Oh, this is getting to be very, very good here. So we see so far that we have Jacob, and we have Jacob, and we have Esau here, and we're just going to stop right there. We see that Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for lentil stew. And Jacob must have been a very good cook, sort of like me. I'm not sure, but anyway. Going to the second one, I'm over here reading from something that was put on Boxing Hideout. And it talks about arguments with your woman. And all women are selfish. Well, I'd say some guys are selfish too. But I think it's better said. Let's see what this one person says here. This is the chaplain of the Denver Mavericks. He is see if you can hear this.
Proverbs 11:30 is a good news verse today. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life.
Let me bring that a little closer here so you can.
That's Proverbs 11:30. Radio Florida. It is 11 o'clock.
Conflict is inevitable. Don't feel bad because there's conflict.
Dr. Tony Evans says the blow-ups in your home can really be explosive opportunities.
Conflict is like dynamite. You can tear things down with dynamite, or you can open up roads with dynamite.
This is The Alternative with Dr. Tony Evans, author, speaker, senior pastor of Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship in Dallas, Texas, and president of the Urban Alternative. Family conflict is unavoidable, but it doesn't have to be destructive. Let's join Dr. Evans as he takes us to Ephesians 4 for a look at 6 rules of good communication that can help you build bridges within your family.
Far too many families, rather than being brought together by the justice of the peace, were married by the Secretary of War. You wouldn't know what to do if you didn't fight. In fact, many families have spiritual Unabombers living in them. People who regularly conjure up ways to send messages that explode in people's faces. Who cut each other up with their cruelty, with their profanity, where there is little respect and regard for the other people who live there because of a desire or parties to selfishly satisfy their own desires. It's a problem because we're born selfish, being born in sin, and then often we're raised selfishly because we're often raised to be catered to rather than to be sensitive to the needs of others. And so today I want to look at a part of family life that is a part that if you are a part of a family you have to grapple with, and that is communication. In fact, most family deteriorations can be related back to the issue of communication. And often what we have in families is the proverbial failure to communicate. It shows up in a lot of ways. People generally don't identify the problem, they identify the symptom. We can't get along. What they mean is we can't communicate. We don't know how to be intimate with one another. Well, we just don't know how to communicate. Communication is a very important thing, and people living in the same house, an explosion occurs. You say, but that explosion didn't occur when we were dating. That's because you were lying. You weren't letting the truth all hang out. You were covering up. You were trying to impress, win one another. But then when you come to living together, the real deal comes out. And often that leads to calamity between husband and wife, parent and children. Screaming rather than talking. One-upsmanship. Who can cause the greatest amount of pain today? Our concern in Ephesians 4 is overcoming family conflict. Conflict is inevitable. Conflict is inevitable. Don't feel bad because there's conflict. Conflict is like dynamite. It's an explosion, but dynamite can be good and bad. You can tear things down with dynamite, or you can open up roads with dynamite. So it is when there is an eruption in your home between husband and wife, parent and child, look at it as an explosive opportunity rather than an explosive chaos. Could be even from brother to sister in the family of God. Let me give you 6 rules from this passage that will help us learn to communicate. Rule number 1, tell the truth. Verse 25, therefore, laying aside falsehood, speak truth, each one of you, with his neighbor. We are members of one another. He says the first thing you've got to do is stop lying. Lying is giving information whose intent it is to deceive the hearer. Lying is an attempt to veer them in another direction, to make them think other than what reality is. Truth means that which corresponds to reality. He says if there's going to be harmony and peace, there must be truth-telling. Lying, as you know, was the first sin God ever judged when the church began, and Ananias and Sapphira lost their life over it. If we are going to fix harmony, then we must create an environment where people tell the truth. A wife said to her husband, I don't mind your half-truths, dear, but you just keep giving me the wrong half. Like the pompous politician who said, I was only spanked once in my life, trying to make himself look good before the constituency. I was only spanked once, and that was for telling the truth. A heckler in the audience, having heard that, looked out and said, well, it sure cured you, didn't it?
That's fantastic. That's really great. And that is from Dr. Tony Evans. That's the chaplain for the Dallas Mavericks. And he's also has a tremendous ministry out there with the Urban Alternative, and I think that's the name of his ministry, the Urban Alternative. I think so. Well, anyway, he's also the first African American graduate with a doctorate degree from Dallas Theological Seminary. That's good. I wanted to go there, but I should have went too. You people have yourself a great day. Bye.